Hi everybody, good afternoon. I'm doing a quick walkthrough for this room intro to GraphQL hacking. I think this is the first time TryHackMe did the room for GraphQL. You might be known for usually you hear about REST API. GraphQL is one of the latest. I think it's a Facebook who released it. So the idea of this room, it's a basic room to give you introduction to GraphQL, a little bit some type of hacking, introduction to GraphQL hacking. So it's a modern API query language that change how clients interact with the server, and like REST API, which often rely on a fixed endpoint and a large amount. This is the difference. The large amount and necessary data. GraphQL allow client to specify exactly what they need. We can see later on for the practice lab later on. Um, you need a little bit pre-switch, like some burp knowledge or something. First of all, you need to start using this command. I already did this one, so got this yours. So I already put the IP. So where is it? I didn't do it. Huh. Alright, this is the GraphQL. So you can go to the GraphQL IP address. So we know if we go to the labs, TryHackMe, they give us two labs. So the graph introspection and bypassing introspection defense. Basically, this is the small lab to start. This is the room is the introduction, so it's not a deep end for it. So the introduction of usually that's where we know REST API. The big difference, of course, if you go REST API when you do that, you can always looking for the endpoint user post or that these different endpoint to look for. The GraphQL only has one point. Data fetching, you can customize because we see it now in this example. The whole point is customizable, so not like get to make a request and you get everything in one shot. As we say, overfetching and underfetching, prevent through precise queries. This is come to predefined response schema, strongly typed and self-documented, based on external doc convention. So this one is self-documented. Batch request, single request for related data, and this one multiple. You can see as an example. For example, if in GraphQL, if you have the ID of user, you can see what exactly you want. I just want a name and email, not like when you use REST API. If you say the user ID, it will give you the whole thing. For example, even I can go down and say user, I give the name and the email. This is a reply. For example, it replied to me and tell me this is the name, that's for the email. So only need these two info. For example, a mutation is when you do an update or change. For example, you say update user, you give it the ID, the new name, and reply straight. You can also do nested. For example, if I want to for the user, I need the post for the user and the comment and the author and the name, and then you get them like that nice reply. So you can see the benefit of you can exactly ask what you want. Fragment let you reuse. So basically, as part of the query, make your code cleaner and easier to maintain. So you define the fragment here, you can use it later on here. So instead of writing name and email repeatedly, you define. So basically, this is introduction. You don't need to go too much in detail because you learn by practice. We can go to the next point, searching the GraphQL endpoint. Because usually it's straightforward, it's not like most of the time people they use the default. For example, if I come here, for example, if we go to the first lab, one thing always you can go inspect in Firefox or whatever you're using. You can check in network. For example, if I say password, for example, test, and just click. You can see this one. First one is looking for the option. The one we're interested in is the post request. Let's make it bigger. And of course, you go, for example, you see the request. For example, you can see the request. Uh, this is username. Where is my password? Username, password, the query. You can see you're looking for the term query here because that would give you to. Let's go row. Uh, When you see query like that, it means that's what I said. You're looking for term query or mutation in a post and get request. The quickest way to identify a GraphQL endpoint is by inspecting traffic generated when interacting with web application. Um, Look for posts to get requests with the payload content like query mutation. Like in our case, we're not changing, but we're sending data, so you can see we have query here. The other thing, you go to debugger, and debugger you can see, for example, this is our lab. You can see the index file. Um, you can go, for example, down for this Ajax. You can see it's sending it to this endpoint. So we can see we have this endpoint. We can copy this, copy source here, what, and then if you go there, what did I copy? Let's do the Control C, Control C, and now you have a query, query your server. Usually in real life, these things you don't find this one online, and then because the Apollo graph, I think we went out now. What the hell is this? Sandbox. We know later on we have the user. I know these users. Let's see if this one work. Still show errors. Hmm. Uh, not ID. Let's say if I'm mistaken username before. You can't reach his localhost. We are out of. Let's go back to our files. Okay, let's use what it gave us. We test some tools now. Let's with curl. Let's what it get us this. Nothing. What is playing with us or something? Any case, let's follow TryHackMe for now. So we have this. We find the code. So we got this one, and you can see usually the default GraphQL or API GraphQL version 1. You can see the OJQL. Usually there is word list like we do with the Go Basta directory, and you can see this one. Additionally, they give us, for example, so you can add this to your list of GraphQL. Uh, for example, here, if you here you know it's a GraphQL when you do the curl triggering error messages. So if we go curl -x post directly to the to GraphQL, for example, if what happened here? If I go, I'm getting confused for a moment. -x post. So you should get an error, and that's usually this error. It gives you invalid contact type or JSON object has no keys. This one it gives you the idea it's a GraphQL. What can we do? Common GraphQL vulnerabilities. Of course, here we go somehow because GraphQL will call database. Usually, you get information. So basically, you can do SQL injection and all of that. Excessive data exposure. Let client define the structure of the response, which is great flexibility but can lead to exposing sensitive data if access control are weak or non-existent. Unlike REST API where the server dictate. So basically for REST API you call, you get already predefined. The GraphQL allows, so basically if there isn't a very proper access control, someone can just sneak something like password and get a reply. For example, that's why you need to have, for example, say I'm only allow you to get the username and email, but I'm not giving you the password. Things like that. Injection attack will do an example here, because when you have database like that, it remind you SQL injection. You can say, for example, drop table user. To resolve this, dynamic query will execute. Now this one means delete the table. That's dangerous. Denial of service. GraphQL ability to handle nested and complex queries is one of its greatest strengths, but it can be liable when you make it longer. Attacker can exploit this feature by crafting queries that consume excessive server resources. For example, attacker could send deeply nested query like this. The query forces the server to traverse multiple layer relationship. So basically, I'm not sure this is exactly how we do. User 1, user ID 1, user ID 2. Repeat for 100,000 of users. So basically, yeah, so let's start practicing when you understand the whole things. Now is the whole things, the term introspection. That's why you basically the GraphQL will give you the whole schema. Now let's start first playing with the certain tools. For example, here this is usually give you the schema. This query asks the API to return list of all type of support their fields. These are the response provide a complete map of how API is structured. That's is useful for development efficiency, auto-generated tools, self-documentation. The role of interface is schema discovery. Uh, if we can access this, because it gives us an identify sensitive field, the names and things like that, mapping relationship, locating hidden operation. It's like looking for how the field interact. While introspection is invaluable during development, leaving it enabled in production. That's why in production you should really remove it the way that. Let's go here, and for example, here we're using burp. So let's do what need to be done. Let's first of all, I'm playing with this book. I'm not sure if guys if you have it. Where is this book? Black Hat GraphQL attacking next generation API. If I'm not mistaken, when I read TryHackMe room, is almost like follow this tract of this book. So you have this Black Hat book. It's almost following it. There's a couple of tools when you talk about GraphQL. For example, we have IonQL. If you want to start playing with GraphQL, you need to add things to your to your inbox. You have this tool, for example, IonQL. We have the nmap. Let's see which is the nmap. I already did the normal nmap scan. If you run the normal nmap scan, it tell you, for example, port 80 is OpenSUSE Apache, tell you port 88 is Node.js Express Framework, and port 80 Node.js. Doesn't say anything about. But if you get if you install this, I already installed in the attack box. So basically, you download this, you copy it to user share nmap scripts, and then you run nmap like that. So if you run nmap now, the second one, I run nmap. So I run nmap in GraphQL introspection to look for GraphQL SQL, and you can see now when he finishes the scan, he can see port 8080 tell you there is a GraphQL server allowed introspection queries at endpoint GraphQL. So he give you also that, and he tell you it's vulnerable. So that's if you start doing nmap, you can install the nmap GraphQL script to it in your computer, Kali or something. Then we have this one, graph HW0F. This one, it's also nice tool. I got this from this book, Black Hat GraphQL. We have this one is also nice. Debugging your GraphQL server was never this easy. This one is Ultra the GraphQL, and then we have Clairvoyance. It's another tool in the book they talk about it. Then we have BatchQL. Is a graphical security auditing script and with focusing on performing batch GraphQL. And then this one is well known. It's not just for the comics project. It's good to have this one. It can detect the injection point. Um, why doesn't even tell this comics is short for Common Injection Explorer. Is an open source penetration testing tool written by that automate detection and exploit command injection. So usually if you try to pay, and also relatively new. So what, and then we have another tool here for called GraphPath Enum. It's also for GraphQL. It has if you want to concentrate, you have a nice tools to put in your toolbox. Now let's get one of the tools, play with it. We have, for example, this alter graph, for example, this debugger. Let's install it in Firefox, because if you install it in your computer, for example, like if I say download, what I'm doing here, or you can add it in Firefox. I can just add to Firefox, for example, add. Okay, so I can just go there. I know the server GraphQL is in that point. I can just come here and put the request there and send the request. Of course, this one is remove that syntax here, because we need to send something. Now if you want to send something, remember we said this schema here, but you don't send it, I think, this way directly. You need to do query. You don't just send the schema directly, not you. You need to dun, 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 dun. You need to query. How many to close this? Close this, open this, this close this, that close. So we need to close our query there. You see now, with this simple query, I can get user ID, username, password, email, is admin. Then we have title, content, post, wherever. Um, and we have this. So you can, with simply, you can get struct of it. We can go deeper. For example, I'm coming back to this once. We can see TryHackMe, they give us this query. We can test this one quickly, the bigger one that TryHackMe gave us. For example, I can go there. I'm not sure if this one will work. Yeah, because the query is introspector query, so we can just send it now. This one will give you more data. You can see there's a lot of things on it, you know. And then of course how to read these things, because now we can have this JSON. You can see how big it is. It's like the past 1,000 line. So I can just go there. I can just copy this. If I copy there, then there's a tool called GraphQL Voyager. If you come to, so you choose introspection and then just copy what you have there, and then it tell you this. We'll come back to this quickly now, because I want to do, we did this, remember we're doing this in Firefox using alter this tool that called what they call it, alter graphic client. Of course, now let's try use it in do the same things in burp. If we want to do burp, for example, I can just do that, close the burp, open burp just to log in. So I can just go to, I didn't start burp, if stop, just cancel this. I thought I stored the web suite. Any case, let's where we are now. We are in the using the burp for getting the schema that we just did now. Let's do that. What else tool we can use? I didn't want to complex things in GraphQL installing too many. I just want to show you guys that you can have different tools. As I'm following this book, he has nice things to read about it. Let's wait for this. Yeah, so it means you can use burp if you want, but also is if you have the proxy, as I said, in your computer, you can also use alter extension. It's work fine. Like it's easy to work with it. Where we are, where is that? What proxy is refusing to connect? Put the burp. Let's for example, just put test. Let's send. Now if we go to burp now and go to a proxy, you can see it's in the request option. Just go forward, and then we have the post. The post is the one we're interested, so we can send to repeater. Let's make this one bigger. Repeater. This is the font. Where's that font text? Okay, now we send the you can see the query. There is a query field and then whatever query you want. So this is username and password. So now the way they said, if you want to do the same things that we did here, let's stop the proxy. If you want to do the same things we do in alter, we just need to send this query that we have, this query, and the copy this, if I'm mistaken, where you can see the query, then you add that one inside your query. So if you go to burp, we have the query. We can just remove the whole thing. I can paste that one and just close that one. Let's see if I didn't do a mistake. Now you get all this data, same as we get there, so we can just copy it from there. Then if you come here, then you can see we can now that's what the dangerous part of the introspection schema. So the small one can give you also information. This one is a bit deep. I think this one, it looked you strange. It's the same things in this book. The book give you this, so we can just it's the same things. But if you want, it doesn't look one line now, so it doesn't get lost. If you get confused why it is stuck like that, I think it's the same things. I can go back to my query here, and I can just here to look you nicer. So if I send, now I get same response. So I think it's the same query. TryHackMe just making it easier for burps, putting it in one line or one liner like that. But you can see here, you can easy to read it. You can see what exactly this query is calling for. So the link is this one. So it's part of the book, Blood Hat GraphQL query. Here it's at least you can see what exactly happening. It's not like stuck like that, so you can get all the data you want. But as I said, this one is too complex to read, so you can just come here, say, oh, I know users, I have posts, the post request is connected to title, user is going to the username, so it give you a user, go to email. So let's continue now what we get in. Now I said there are two queries after the introspection, namely the other one is, we can see there's the posts. So we know the query. This is a user query and this is the post query. What happened if I click post? Nothing. So we can go, here's the poster, the post there. And then challenge, since you are able to disclose the column name, what is the email of the user named Bob? So now we know we have they ask us for the email. We know the username. You have a query, the query users, and then we can ask for a username, for example, an email. ID title. This is the post. So now, if you remember, we go in. We go into this example. We did start in the beginning. You see when you call dun, dun, dun. You can ask, for example, the user either by ID, then call what you want, things like that. So let's try. Let's try. This is a query. What was before? Is the For example, we did before this query that we got send query. We got that. So now I know I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for the users. We know I have a user as because I'm looking here. The users query. So querying user and I can get a username. So let's say a query users. Um, um, no, I don't need this. So I'm querying the users. I'm getting confused now. Uh, when you query them, you query them with a bracket, and then we have. They told us the username is Bob, so we have a username. So we can say is Bob, and then I ask me what I want. I want. I have a username. Okay, fill no field. Why is not filling my field automatic? What are you looking for? Email. I like this one. Is like he knows what he's talking about. No, I don't need the. I need the email. So let's see if we can get the email. Send query. Oh, syntax error. Where's the syntax error? I thought we got it. Username Bob. No, you need to open what I'm doing now. This close that one. So we got username. Let's see if we can get. I don't think we can get the password. So we can get the password. So we have the query user. We can get username, password is admin. So let's say if we can get that is admin. What I'm doing is admin is true. So we got the email. Let's answer the question and then go to our friend Burp. So if I go there, the question is, where is that question? We have Bob. So if we in Burp we can do the same things. We can just close that thing. We can just do in Burp we do the same things. Query, embedded query to stay the same. We just need to do another query, and we know we need to open the query always. Dun, dun, dun. We query the users. Same as we did here. Where is it? That things again. Username and Bob. Username Bob. Why is changing colors? User username Bob, and then we can add I need just email, so let's just get email from this. Why I'm having the color change? Let's do the bracket. I'm query the users where username is Bob and give me the email. Let's see if it is one. Then why is there's something missing here? This one is an extra here or something. Okay, that query point, query open, you need to close it somewhere. So I need to close that one there. Syntax error. Query, you query we querying the, oh yeah, why I'm doing that? Still, what I'm doing wrong? You query username Bob, email, password. There is no dot here. Oh my goodness, no. Users, username Bob, and we should close it, and then give me the email. What's wrong with my query is not getting? No, now we got the email. So you query the users, username, I got email. I can get add password now, whatever we want. Now we got the password is admin. True. So now that's the query how you nest it. So you can, to be honest, I'm liking this one, working straight in Firefox, not using burp. Yeah, so now let's go next one. The injection in this example is straightforward. Basically it's you can see here select everything from user or username is. When you see as MySQL use the input straight, it's very dangerous. So here basically you can do the classic admin or one equal one and send the query to the login. So I'm very curious. Let's go to lab 2. So if we go, where's the lab 2? Lab 2 is on bypassing introduction. So let's get burp, or where, let's say usually for example test. Let's click there. Let me go to my burp. If I go to proxy, the next one is lab 2 is import 8081 is an option. Press forward, you have post 81. This is the one sent to repeater. So if I have a repeater now, let's do this. You can see is I'm getting confused. No, not confused. So we have the username, query, and the password. So the idea here is you can see we're trying to do simple injection is or one equal one. So if don't tell me the password is test. Let's test it with ours and Jalil. No, not. Who's the query is in the injection is in the username. So let's do there or one equal one. We closing Yeah, 1 equal, no, we close in left side, I forgot. We want to kill it that side. So in this case, it's there. Let's see if we have any injection in this side. Now we have injection, so we got error. Now we can view the whole things. Let's do this. Also, I forgot to let me show you something. This you can always do the classic, so we can copy this. Copy, for example, copy to file. We can just request.txt, and I can just go here. I can just say SQL map minus R request that's just a batch, and just leave it run. You can see he got it, so we can just say dash dbs, and you can see he found the database vulnerable app. You can just say mysd. So I forgot dump, and then we got the data what we're looking for. Hidden flag, this is your hidden flag, so we got the flag and all of that. So we can use SQL map for this. What's TryHackMe is hiding the users, their password. Oh, this is the first we did before. Which one we did before? GraphQL injection. This is, did we did anything? No, what was is that a flag for? What is the flag? It's two flags. This is a longer one, hidden flag, but it's not part of the question. I think this is the flag that you're referring to. We got hidden flag. I don't know what that hidden flag is for. Okay, this is one. So I think that the one that is referring to is more, but we got it from repeater. This one, this one. I think this is not what SQL map went and get us the hidden flag. So it's cool for now. Secure, of course, the most important is the introspection is in production. If you are building GraphQL API, introspection is great for development. It helps developer explore the API schema without needing extra documentation, but in production, it's security risks. So usually they tell you how, for example, you can false limit query depth. This is when you said you have stop a query deeper than 5 level. For complexity, you assign a score. For example, as I said, this is introduction. You don't need to go deeper to understand it. At least you need to know that there is some tools you can use. Use parameterized queries for input. This is very clear when you see this exclamation mark usually in the queries. It means whatever, even if you send a code or something in input, MySQL database will not execute it. So this is basically more for the developer side. Yeah, so this is simple, guys. So this is the room. It was an introduction. What do they give us here? WhatsApp GraphQL security. Maybe the next room, because this one is introduction, and next one maybe we'll start using advanced tools like but it's good one to know these tools, the SQL map. Yeah, I'm still reading this book. It's too many things on it, so maybe we'll become good in SQL, GraphQL. I think we did what we need to do in this room as introduction. Hope you like it, guys, and thank you very much, and have a good day.